A few months ago on this very channel, we made a whole video that basically called Homebrew, this Stone Age thing we use because Nix runs circles around it. So it's only fair that I circle back here and tell you this. The Stone Age thing that we were using just shipped its first major version in years, Homebrew 6.0. And here's the big thing. The headlines isn't a pile of new features, it's a complete security overhaul. Homebrew just grew up. Now, let me explain what actually changed because it's more interesting than just a bumped version number. For basically the entire life of Homebrew, when you added a third-party tap, someone else's package repo, Homebrew would just run their Ruby code. It would just execute their code. Any tap, arbitrary code, without really any questions asked. Now, think about that world that we're in now. Package managers are the #1 target for supply chain attacks right now. NPM, all of them getting hit over and over. We'll just run whatever code the repo hands us is a bad default. And Homebrew 6.0's feature exists to kill that. It's called Tap Trust. If you enjoy coding tips and tricks like this, be sure to subscribe. We have videos coming out all the time. But let me start with the part you'll actually feel every single day, brew version. There it is, 6.0. Now watch what happens when I install something that pulls a few dependencies. Instead of silently going off and doing it, Brew now lays out a summary of everything it's about to install and waits for me to say yes. That's the new ask mode, and it's on by default for devs now. Tiny change, but it means you always see the plan before Brew lays a finger on any of our machine. Now the big one, tap trust. Watch when I add a third-party tap. Homebrew stops me cold. It says this tap isn't trusted yet, and it will not run a line of its code until I explicitly say so. I trust it on purpose with brew trust, and only then does it actually execute. The official Homebrew taps trusted right out of the box, so your normal brew install life is the exact same. But that little sketchy tap from some GitHub stranger that you found on a README, now that's kind of like a locked door. You have to actually approve that. And honestly, that's probably a pretty good decision at this point. And this isn't the only real upgrade here. The internal metadata system is now the default, which means all your package info comes down in one clean download instead of a dozen little network trips. So brew update is a lot quicker. There's a brand new command, brew execute, which basically is npx for Homebrew. Run a tool once without permanently bolting it onto your system. There's brew vulns, which scans packages you already have installed against known security issues, advisor errors. And 6.0 quietly patched 3 security holes, including one that could run code as root through the Mac installer package. This is a release with a spine. Okay, now here's the catch with all this. And for some of you, it's going to be a big one, so I'm just going to bury it on you. Tap trust is the breaking change. If you've got CI pipelines that lean on third-party taps, Brew Doctor now throws an error the moment it sees an untrusted one. And a huge number of standard GitHub actions run Brew Doctor as their very first step. So people upgraded and their build just started failing. The fix is to mark those taps as trusted in your config, but you have to actually go do it yourself. Nobody's going to do it for you. Same story with the ask mode. If you've got scripts that quietly assumed Brew installs without asking, that new prompt can leave them hanging forever. Now the whole framing thing too. If you're just a regular person installing apps day to day, this barely looks any different. This is a security and architecture release, not just a fresh coat of paint. One quick myth here too. A lot of things are getting rewritten in Rust. No, Homebrew is not getting rewritten in Rust, at least not now. That was a whole experiment. The focus is right back on the Ruby codebase as it always was. So, should you upgrade to Homebrew 6.0 for almost everyone? The answer is just yes. You're getting 3 security fixes, and frankly, Brew Update is going to walk you onto 6.0 whether you plan for it or not. Now, the people who maybe need to slow down a little bit here is anyone running CI that touches third-party taps or automation that expects silent installs. Handle those first. You're golden. And if you're still on an Intel Mac, heads up. 6.0 spells out the timeline for retiring Intel support over the next couple of years. Apple Silicon people, the new computers, we're completely fine. It even adds support for the new M5 chips. Here's how I'd kind of leave this. For years, Homebrew was a convenience, to say the least, just the fastest way to get software onto a Mac. With 6.0, it looks like it's turned itself into more of a checkpoint, a place where the code coming onto the machine finally has to prove it's trusted. This is a big step. The package manager caught up to the threat model the rest of us have been living inside for years. That's the real thing here, not the number on the box 6.0, 6.1. It's what came with it. If you enjoy coding tips and tricks like this, be sure to subscribe to the Better Stack channel. We'll see you in another video.